on into the Godwin Monday Talk Show, episode 40. That's right, the big 4-0. I was thinking around for episode 50 we'll do something special, but for today's episode we have a lot to get through and not that much time. From everything from band streamers to BMW developing a gaming chair. Yes, I did read that correct. And rumors about Grand Theft Auto 6, which have been flying off shelves like kids' toys. Now, I mean, what a week. But before we go on to all that, if you haven't already, make sure to check out all the Mradio social medias. That's Twitter and Instagram, the only Mradio, and YouTube and Twitch at Mradio. And if you're tuned in to the Mradio YouTube channel later on tonight, we'll be dropping another episode of Ride or Die, which is our kind of mini little TV series where we follow around an MC in a video game, and we film them and everything. We make episodes out of it. It's fairly fun. Either way, let's get into all we have to do this week. We'll start off the episode like we do any other week. But what games did I play this week? I actually got my hands on Dirt 5, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this game. I've never really been a fan of racing games. You know, it's always been like, oh, well, there's nothing else to play, so I'll play racing games. It was that way with my Nintendo. I used to have Need for Speed. Don't ask me which ones, since they've made like 30 different spin-offs. But I played Need for Speed a lot when I was young, and then I got into Forza Horizon when I got my Xbox, and when I got my PlayStation, I just stopped playing racing games. And now I'm kind of going in between, F1 and Dirt 5 and what's the other, Forza Horizon 4. I can't wait until Forza Horizon 5. If anyone ever asked me what's my favorite racing game franchise, hands down, won't even think about it, Forza Horizon. I love it so much. I love 2, I love 4, and I know I'm going to love 5. No matter what kind of stuff they do with it, I know I'm going to love it anyway. Dirt 5, though, I played Dirt 4, and I did quite enjoy that because it was a lot to do with, rallying and everything, and I was like, that's pretty cool. In this one, though, it's a tiny bit different how they do it. I mean, in Dirt 4, I have vivid memories of my very first race I done. It was in South Africa. I think I had a Ford. Don't ask me what type. I just know it was small. It was a compact Ford. And you're racing against other people's times to get to the top time, and it was fairly fun. Like, I like that. Like, you don't really have any competition, so your main goal is to get through the track as fast as possible, and it'd be really cool because you'd be going so fast, and like one wrong turn, if you didn't listen to like the instructions, you're going straight into a ditch and you're losing 10 seconds, which is quite a lot. One thing I found in racing is 10 seconds in normal life it's kind of, it's nothing. It's like, 10 seconds, oh, my life's not going to end. 10 seconds in racing, though, that's the race over. I mean, in a lot of cases, that is the race over, unless you have like 70 laps to recover. A 10-second loss is going to put a wrench in the works anyway. What I found with Dirt 5, though, is they went a bit off the trail. And I think it worked in some ways and it didn't in others. So I'll explain what happened with Dirt 5. So they have like an arcade where you just go around, driving cars. Fairly simplistic, nothing too complicated. And they have a playground, which is, I think, nearly the same thing. They have a garage, they have all this. But the main kind of pillar of everything is the career mode, where you're a rookie driver going around racing against people, but instead of racing times, you're physically racing them. It's like Forza Motorsport. That's what I drew it up as. And Forza Motorsport is the shit Forza. It's not Forza Horizon. I know they start off the same, but the end product is totally different. Okay, one's Forza Motorsport, which is really for, I guess, people who are really enthusiastic about driving, enthusiastic to the point where they don't mind sitting in the same place for 10 minutes. Driving a car that barely goes over 60, and then Forza Horizon's all about the luxuries, I guess, to be away. You're off in all these exotic countries, France, Spain, and some could put Scotland in that category for Forza Horizon 4. And I think the new one has us in South America, all the way to Mexico and Colombia. I don't know. I don't know if it's doing like Central America, so it might just be like Mexico and Honduras and Jamaica. I don't know what they're doing, what they're planning with it. But all these exotic countries with these huge cars like Ferraris, Maseratis, Lamborghinis. I mean, all the eyes. Okay, all the eyes. But with Dirt 5, you don't see that. I mean, in Dirt 4, I quite liked it because you're going out on a track that's covered in mud and wet, and the turns are barely big enough to fit a bike. Never mind a whole car. So it's a challenge, but it's a fun challenge. You're free. It's you're there. There's you and there's the road. And there's a person I came across once. I was playing a video game with them, and they said there's something quite freeing once you're on the road and you go over 90 miles per hour. He said there's something so free about it. It's like you're a part of the road then. And he said that to me. And I'm fairly sure he got it from a TV series. I'm fairly sure he nabbed that quote and just put it on him on his own kind of table. But it was very true, because when you're on that road and you're going over 90 miles per hour, you start, the road just starts flying by and you start to become one of it. But if you're there with 6 or 7 other AI drivers and they're bashing into you and blocking the road, it kind of disturbs the whole process. It takes the peaceful sentiment out of the game, and I guess it tramples on it a little bit, kind of Mufasa, Lion King kind of. It just tramples on it. So with Dirt 5, I was happy because it's a dirt game, so naturally, it's going to be mechanically, it's going to be a very good game to play. You're drifting around corners in the Subaru. So, you can't really get much better than that. I'm not complaining about drifting around corners in the Subaru, okay? That is awesome. What I'm complaining about is that even if there was an option just to do those rally times, like traditional rallying, not like races, because that's what dirt isn't, it's not rallying anymore, it's races. And I found that to be quite sad, to be honest. I enjoyed Dirt 4 for what it was, and to see Dirt 5 doing what it's doing, sure. But bringing back the World Rally Cup, I think that's the WRC, or World Rally Championship. What cup? World Rally Championship back in the dirt, like they had before. Just classic edge-to-edge rally racing, rally driving, whichever, whoever, Badado. I thought I think it's a nice sentiment. But yeah, Dirt 5, that's what I had to say. It's good if you're into, traditional competitive racing, tire-to-tire kind of stuff, Daniel Ricciardo kind of stuff. But I'm personally more of a fan of just open wheel racing, doing what you're doing on the circuit on a given day and not having to compete with 6 or 7 other people. And I think it would work if they... one reason I think it works with Forza, because Forza isn't like that at all. Forza is quite the opposite. I think it's because there's the difference in the cars, really. With Forza, you can do a lot. You're talking about maybe 150 plus cars in the video game. You're talking about lovely landscape, very free landscape. You never feel like you're trapped in Forza. It's a huge open world. Where with Dirt, it's the exact opposite. You're given a route, you don't go off the route. I mean, I remember I went off the route. I went into like a kind of a rock kind of jump, and it put me straight back on the track. So there's no really freedom with Dirt, and I think that's why it works with Forza Horizon and not Dirt. But I'll be excited to see what Forza Horizon 5 has to offer. I love 2, I love 3, I love 4, and if I don't love 5, I'll be disappointed, but I don't think I will. I've always been fascinated by this, and it's a question I've never got the answer to. Why do racing games look so goddamn good? I mean, you go over to any other genre in 2014, and it looks like okay at best. I mean, take an open world AAA game like Watch Dogs, okay? Maybe not the best example, but I know it was in 2014. You take that game and you compare it to what Forza Horizon 2 was out back then. Compare those two games graphic-wise, and Forza Horizon 2 still looks fantastic to this day. I don't know how they do it. I just don't know how to do it. I don't know if like racing games take less. Like, do they require less? I mean, I don't think they do. Racing seems like a fairly pixel-to-pixel thing, but still, I'm just confused about the whole process. If anyone could ever answer that, I'll be happy. Another game I played this week was actually Fallout 4. I booted it up because I wanted to play the new DLC. Well, it's not new, it's actually quite old, but it's a new DLC that I got a few months ago and I still haven't played it. I got it a very long time ago. It came with the Game of the Year package. and it was the Vault DLC, where you get to create your own vault and everything. And I played it, I it was a huge out. Let me tell you this story, okay? Now, me and Fallout, like, we're not the best of friends anymore since I've already played Fallout, and after about the third time of Fallout, I mean, you're still amazed at the game, but you just kind of get bored of it. It's like, oh, well, I've been playing this for 20 minutes. I've done everything. I find myself every 2 weeks I'll load up Fallout 4, I'll play it for 20 minutes. But this time, I played it for roughly around an hour, doing the new DLC opening. And you basically go into the vault, you kill the raiders. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of them. You gotta kill them, so make sure you bring bullets to that place. And then you get into the vault and you have to kill some more feral ghouls and open up the vault and everything. So when you get into like the main area where the overseer is currently hiding, and you kill everything, you clean it up, what you do is you get permission over the vault. She says, oh, I want to build something with you. We'll create this vault to be what it once was. Fantastic and great. Okay, sure, yeah. We'll go along with that. So I'm going around the vault there, cleaning up all the shit that's been accumulated over the last few years, because it's been a few years, okay, since this vault was opened. Try 50, 60 years. So I mean, any people who were kind of thinking about retirement are long gone out of that vault now, and all that's left is a few rats and an overseer who's turned into a ghoul. If you don't know Fallout 4, this is going to sound like a lot of gibberish to you. So I'm going around and cleaning up everything. There's train tracks, there's rubbish, there's barrels, there's dead ghouls. Ghouls are like zombies, just for anyone who isn't familiar with Fallout 4. And then there's feral ghouls, which are like zombies on kind of, a drug. I'm not going to mention a specific drug just for safety reasons. So you don't try to attempt it yourself. That's basically what it is. So I'm going around and I see this huge pile of rubble, and I'm like, okay, well, if I clear this out, there's probably going to be something behind it, like a little corner that will give me more room to work with. So I'm like, sure, I'll clear this rubble. So I clear the rubble, and it's a big pile of rubble. It's the kind of rubble you'd see in like the 2012 Avengers movie when they destroy all of New York, defeating a few aliens. And when I say a few, it was a few thousand, but still, a few is a few. It doesn't matter what context it's in. And I open up and I see there's like a stairwell. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So it obviously goes a little bit further. Now, emphasis on a little bit, okay? Because I'm not expecting this to be like a whole thing. I'm expecting it to be a little shitty corner with maybe like a few coins here and there. So I'm like, all right, I'll go down the stairs. I'll just it's not like I'm doing anything important now. It's not like I'm doing anything productive. So I'll go down the stairs. So I go down the stairs as a curious person would, and it just keeps going. Like, no joke. So there's huge things attacking me. I mean, every corner I go around, there's from ghouls. There's no raiders. There's no actual humans down there, okay? Because they can't survive down there. There's ghouls. There's mole rats. There's just everything down there trying to kill you. I mean, they have no sense of just welcoming or just friendliness at all down that cave. That's one thing I will say. And it just keeps going. I mean, I'll go around one corner and I'll see two more corners. And I'm like, holy crap. So I keep going. I'm exploring this cave for like 20 minutes. That's like the average amount of time I play this game for is 20 minutes. I've been exploring the cave for the last 20 minutes. And it's crazy because it just keeps going. And I'm like, why would you design this? I just thought to myself, and Biesta, I mean, what is the point of this? Do you want me to just keep exploring, keep clearing it out? I can't build in this part of the cave since it's too far away from the workshop. I can't do anything with it. And at one point I found myself lost because I've went through so many corners, because what it does is once you go around a corner, there'll be like two more corners. So you've got to decide which corner do you want to go into. So you just keep making choices. There's so many tunnels. They made this huge tunnel for no reason at all. So now what's annoying is I've made an executive decision never to go into that tunnel again. Because one, I got lost. Two, it's too big, and not the good kind of too big. And three, everything wants to kill me there. So I mean, there's no incentive to go back into that cave. And Biesta, I mean, a fantastic job in the level design, but why? Why design something that big and that vast and that dangerous if I can't do anything in it? I don't know if there's any lore or if there's anything. I just remember that constantly people are trying to kill me. I'm guessing. Okay, I've took a guess here, and I haven't. I'm gonna come back to it one day. I'm gonna go back to the cave, and I'm gonna try find what's the point of it? Because surely there's some. If a cave's that big, surely there's like a secret entrance into it that doesn't involve going through the vault. So I'm there sitting myself, bringing up all these theories because it's a suspiciously large vault. I want that to be very much out there. It's a very large vault. I didn't expect it to be that large. And if Bethesda is listening, I just want to know why. Why would you design something that big, wasting 20 minutes of my life like that? I'm not sour about it. I'm just it's a waste of your time as well. I mean, you gotta design that whole tunnel. You gotta design every crack and you gotta set the enemy spawn points in there. I mean, it just seems like a waste of time. So I don't know. I'm gonna explore the tunnel a little bit further. But just around every corner, I can't say this enough. It's something's trying to kill me. So, I mean, that's this Fallout for you. Another game I played this week was Cyberpunk 2077. After the news came out that it was at a satisfactory playing level, I can adhere to that statement. That is true. It is at a satisfactory playing level. I found myself just edging every so often just edging away from Cyberpunk because it's that good that it's kind of got me addicted. Like I've played quite a lot of hours in the last 2 weeks, because it's a good game now that all the bugs are gone. And I remember I was on a podcast. Oh, it's maybe going back a few months ago now. I mean, definitely 6 at the very least. And I remember we were talking about it, and we're like, Cyberpunk is a good game. It's just riddled with bugs, and I mean that is the truth. And now the bugs are gone, you can really see how good Cyberpunk is. I mean, when I'm talking to people, and I was talking about what game would I recommend this week, and I was like, Cyberpunk's good, but it's not like good where I'd spend $45 in it. It's good where I'll spend like maybe 30. I feel like that's a reasonable ask for the game because there's a lot to do in it, but I feel in some parts it's very congested. It's what happens is you're playing the game and you meet all these. It's a very confusing game. I mean, if you're not in the right headspace, not mentally. If you're not in the right headspace just to play it, like if you're too tired, or if you've just got off a busy day at work, Cyberpunk's not the game for you because that shit gets confusing real fast. So I'm after finishing the tutorial. So, I'm playing as V, the main character, and suddenly I'm driving around town because I'm like, oh, this is so cool. It's Night City. I mean, it's a good city. It's large. I'm getting all these goddamn calls, like, from random people. No introduction, saying, oh yeah, hey, I'm Mr. Hans. If you're ever in Pacifica, just give me a call. I'll give you a job. So then I go give him a call, and there's no option to get a job at all. So I have all these side quests here, and another thing is that they all offer to sell their used cars. All these people that call you, so they say they have a job for you, and then they don't have a job for you, and then they try to sell you their used cars. And it's like so weird. I mean, because at one point I had like 20 side quests piled up. So I was like, all right, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of, so many side quests. So I stopped the main story and started just doing side quests over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I mean, I just feel in some parts of the game it's very congested. I will say that I ran into a few bugs, not game breakers, just like weird stuff with NPCs, there'll be like a cop and I'll run around the corner and it hasn't spawned in yet, so it'll spawn in behind me, and that's annoying. It's not like they killed me. I think I've only died once, and that was when I was going through a nightclub. I was like, because I ran through sequences. I remember there's one with like Takamura where the whole of Night City PD, he's kidnapped someone, so you're there in the building with him. And I was just after finishing like a huge gunfight, and I was like, nah, man, it's like I don't have the energy for this. So I just run through the whole building, and I actually make it out on my second try. I actually make it out of the building, just running through it. So that's how the game can be really easy in parts. I just feel like it's very congested. That's one thing I'll say about Cyberpunk. It can be quite congested, and yeah, that's really all I have to say for it. I feel like you really have to know what you're doing as well with the settings. If you go into Cyberpunk and you're an inexperienced gamer, I think you'll have a troubling time with it. You have to actually know, the settings, and you have to know what each setting does, so you kind of you get what you're looking for, because each PC runs Cyberpunk differently, no matter what people tell you, because each PC has different specs or different enough. Some PCs will obviously have the same enough specs, but different PCs have different specs, and Cyberpunk just runs so up and down. It's very volatile. It just goes up and down, so you really have to kind of navigate your way through there fairly well. Of course, the two games that I always play are GTA 5 and 5M. Some good news in 5M. The server I play on Twitch RP is on a massive summer festival event this week, and I've been doing stuff with that. I took videos and everything, so that'll be going up on the Mradio YouTube channel. Besides from that, moving on from what games did I play this week, what game would I recommend this week? Now, the game I'm recommending this week is I'd be very surprised if you heard about it. I'll be honest with you there. I would be very surprised. It's called Among Trees, and it's a survival game. And if it wasn't meant clear in the title, it's Among Trees. I think kind of clever naming right there. It's a survival game where you get to build your own hut, you get to hunt, you get to fish, you get to cut down trees. Trees are a huge thing in the game, literally and figuratively. You use them to do a lot of stuff, and there's also a lot of large trees. I first came across Among Trees when I was going through like my walkthrough stage, where I just watched a load of video game walkthroughs, and I came across this guy who was doing this new survival series with Among Trees, and I was like, well shit, I've got stuff to do. I want to play something in the background, so I started playing that in the background, just as a video to put on while I'm working, and I actually found it quite interesting. And it's only €12, so whatever that is in pound and dollars, it's more in pound, less in dollars. When it would be, I just confused myself there. Yeah, no, I think it is, isn't it? Or would it be more in both? Let's not get you know how to use Google, okay? You know how to use Google. You can look up currency exchanges. That's not my job, okay? My job is simply to announce this stuff and give my opinions. But yeah, Among Trees, a very cheap game, and for what you get out of it, it's very good. I will say this though, if you're a bit jumpy, I wouldn't suggest the game straight away, because just a little bit of a spoiler here. I'll give you like a 5-second warning, a little bit of a spoiler. It's not a massive one. There's this big ass bear in the game. Okay, now when I say big ass bear, I mean it is a big ass bear. It puts Yogi to shame. You remember Yogi and Boo Boo? I feel so weird saying his name, Boo Boo. And it puts them to shame, honestly. I mean, that was a good movie right there. I'm just going to put that out there. I enjoyed that thoroughly. It entertained my kid's brain, certainly. Haven't watched it in a few years. Need to find where they have it for sale. But Yogi Bear, this bear puts Yogi Bear to shame, because this bear will actually bite you. So you got to be careful. So I will say that there's a bear, and the way they manage the tension between you and the bear is quite good. So that's my only thing. Don't go just try saying hi to the bear, because the game, it looks so peaceful. Like the color complexion they have in the game, it makes it look so harmless. So you're like, your guard is down, and then suddenly you find this big bear and your heart rate goes up by a substantial amount. So I found that's my experience with it. But that is the two sections for what game did I play this week and what game would I recommend this week. First up is a music break. And we're going to go on a little bit of a music break. But if you haven't already, make sure to check out all the Mradio social medias, from Twitter to Instagram and the Only Mradio, on YouTube and Twitch at Mradio. Now, by popular request, we've got Velvet Pants by Propellerheads.
What's different, Pete, about the 69 that makes it so exciting to you?
2,000 people in a seething, roaring, shouting mass.
All the people I know are musicians. I revolve around music. That's all I know. They've each got their own little thing that they like.
He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's wearing velvet pants.
That's all she talks about.
He's wearing velvet pants.
That's all she talks about.
He's wearing velvet pants.
That's all she talks about.
He's wearing velvet. He's wearing velvet pants.
That's all she talks about.
He's wearing velvet. He's wearing velvet pants. He's wearing velvet pants. He's wearing velvet pants. I'm having too much fun. I realized it last night.
Send the first kid down. Send the first kid down.
And they played records.
Send the first kid down. Send the first kid down.
And they played records. And they played records.
Send the first kid down. 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 Send the first kid down.
He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's wearing velvet pants.
That's all she talks about.
He's wearing velvet. He's wearing velvet pants.
That's all she talks about.
He's wearing velvet. He's wearing velvet pants.
That's all she talks about.
He's wearing velvet. He's wearing velvet pants.
That's all she talks about.
He's wearing velvet. He's wearing velvet pants. He's wearing velvet pants.
It's groovy. It's groovy, I guess. It's groovy. It's groovy, I guess. It's groovy. It's groovy, I guess. It's groovy. It's groovy. It's groovy. It's groovy, I guess.
It's Groove, everybody. Welcome on back into the Godwin Monday Talk Show with me, your host, Mr. San Andreas. It's episode 40. That was Propeller Heads and Velvet Pants. If you didn't get that from the lyrics, a very unique song, but it's catchy. It's groovy, as they say. Anyway, we've got a lot of news to go through this week. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, but some of it starts off about a banned streamer from Destiny 2. No, I did not know there was such a thing as a Destiny 2 streamer. I just thought it was a game that everybody played quite casually. But apparently, Bacon is a streamer with thousands of followers. I mean, his exact name is Bacon Gangsta, if you want to go look him up. I don't know what to think of someone who spells gangster with an STA, but good for him. I mean, if you can live with yourself by spelling gangsta like that, I mean, you go for it, buddy. But basically, this whole drama unraveled after he denied that he was cheating, and that's probably one of the worst things a guilty person could do. One of the worst things a guilty person could do is deny it, because if you've been banned, there's proof, and usually innocent people don't blare it over Twitter. Usually innocent people go actually solve the problem. But anyway, he goes talks to Bungie, sorry, you know. So basically, when Destiny 2 hopped from Battle.net to Steam, I think it was around 2019, the numbers of players cheating kind of just went straight up. It just kind of just turned into Warzone. A YouTuber called Asdacross kind of had a quote there. You look at players in the record, and they would go from a 0.5 KD to a 2.5 or 3.5 or higher. You're like, where the hell did that come from? And according to Bungie, when they did reports, it actually went up nearly by 50% in the first 4 months of 2020. And since then, Bungie has shut down the anti-cheat seller Perfect Aim and teamed up with Riot to gator cheats to court. Riot are they're a fairly big company. As anyone who plays the Trials of Osiris mode each weekend can attest, Destiny 2 definitely still has a cheating problem, but Bungie they've been stepping up their efforts. Okay, that's no little thing. And basically what happened was a well-known content creator, Bacon Gangsta, got banned. And after being banned for the second time, Bacon protested his innocence, tweeting that this is kind of ridiculous and asking for some people at Bungie to look into it. There's no way I get banned when I see mad cheaters play for months. I mean, he could definitely have worse English. I mean, I just want you to know, Bacon, I am being judgmental now. But he basically got banned for the second time, and he looked at some people from Bungie look into it. So Bungie's senior community manager Dylan Gaffner replied, "Bans are not issued without a reason. The team has validated this action multiple times thanks to the anti-cheat detection and investigation." He also linked Bungie's account restrictions and banning policies pages. It turned out that wasn't enough for Bacon. he continued to profess his innocence, and he was quoted saying this: "I'd like to see proof of what I was doing that resulted in this ban, because of right now this is," and I quote, "bullshit." That's what this man called it. It's at this point I'd like you to imagine kind of a sharp intake from the crowd, as you know, as something kind of crazy happens. They're in shock. This is a public conversation, and it was playing out in social media with a streamer with thousands of followers and a senior community manager. Following up, Gaffner said, "Took some time to triple check this with the security team. We've detected 2 accounts under your ownership using cheat suites while playing Destiny 2 and have banned 4 accounts in total, includes ban invasion. This is our final communication on the matter." So that's what they have to say. So yeah, the message is honesty really is the best policy. that's the story I'm taking from all this, because yeah, no, you really can't hide from the internet, can you? Everything's kept on record. You think, like, there's probably so much stuff kept on record about me that I don't even know about. And sure, it mightn't be accessible to your average day company or person, but it's out there. It's out there. So I think a huge thing that I always hear, and I think it's ridiculous, is that once you put something out on the internet, it's there for everybody to see. And I'm like, that's a stupid statement, because it's so wrong. It's so wrong that it makes people think that there is always a way to delete something. It's so wrong where it kind of works against the people who say it. Is because when you put something out there, you can delete it from the public's view, but you can't delete it from certain people's views. You can't delete it from, say, the social media network that you posted on. They might even keep records of it. You can't keep it from skilled hackers or hacker groups who've probably already documented it and kept it as data. You can't keep it from the very top of the dog chain, because they already have all that stuff. But I think a more accurate phrase would be that once you put something out there, it's out there, but it's not out there for everybody. It's out there for, the people who want it. And I think that's a very true statement. And I think if you're addressing any drama, especially if you're a guilty party, don't go on Twitter and complain about it. Okay, don't try to fix your public image like that, because that is an idiotic thing to do. I think just, honesty is the best policy. If you're upfront about it, you'll retain a certain amount of respect. And eventually, the top's going to fall off the bottle. At some point. It mightn't be now, it mightn't be next week, and it mightn't be the next month, but at some point it will. And when that time comes around, you'll regret everything with great esteem that you didn't just tell the truth. So yeah, I guess he learned a valuable lesson at about probably 24 or whatever age he is. Usually people are around 24 when they make mistakes like this. Anyway, moving on to some more positive news, or positive for Phil Spencer anyway. Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox, says studio acquisitions are good for the video game industry. Saying that, it's basically saying that, people who take the I guess chance of coming into this industry deserve to be awarded or rewarded for their efforts. And his definition of rewarding people is by taking away all of their creative licenses and giving them a few $100,000, or in Bethesda's case, $7 billion. So yeah, there's a little bit of a gap there financially, but I don't really see it from Phil Spencer's point of view, if I'm being honest. I see it as buying up the industry, having less competition, having more stuff for the Xbox. I think the wonderful thing about business is that there's always another business around the corner to compete with you, to keep consumers happy, to keep them busy, but most importantly, to have a nice selection out there, to make sure that you're not one of those corporate goons who just buys up everything because you're afraid that someone around the corner is going to come up with a better cookie than you. And I think what Xbox are doing in one way is very good for Xbox, and in another way, I think by saying it's good for the video game industry is once again an idiotic statement to make. Buying up everything is never going to be good for anything. I mean, you saw it with a lot of stuff, maybe communism, more recently with the Bolshevik era. You saw them buying up, well, not even buying up, just taking all the farms. Taking anything, whether you're giving out something or not, taking everything of something is never good, because it leaves nothing there but you. For me, the video game industry is an industry because of the competition that's in it. You got Rockstar and EA, you got Xbox, you got Sony, you got Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. You've got all these comparables that are so different yet so similar, but the thing that kind of stands with them all together is that they're not the same. They're not from Assassin's Creed is probably not the best example, maybe Watch Dogs and GTA. The thing about them is they're not the same. They're different. They're from different people. They're from different creative minds. And if someone's going to sit there and buy everything up for their own self-benefit, I don't see how that's good for an industry. I think that's weakening the industry, if anything. These people who are, as Phil Spencer says, taking the chance of coming into the industry, I don't think it's rewarding by giving them a check for a few million and telling them, listen, you're not in charge of your own place anymore. It's ours. So, either you're fired or you do what we kind of want you to do. And I don't see how that's good for the video game industry. I don't. And a lot of people would make the argument that, well, now they have the resources to do what they couldn't do before. And I also don't see anything good about that statement either. I think a huge part of learning comes from being at the bottom of the food chain. I can see the benefits. I'll always see the benefits of having those resources. I mean, you look at a Rockstar game, you can clearly see that they benefit from having the resources they do have, and it can be saw in the sales they have for their games. But Rockstar didn't start out with that money. Rockstar had to prove themselves with that money. So I think by buying up every studio isn't going to really achieve anything, except it might boost a few thousand of your sales every quarter. I think a lot of learning can be done without those resources, you know, and it's valuable learning. It's learning that you'll keep with you throughout the industry. So when Phil Spencer says that he's buying up all these studios, I think a lot of people see through him. I think he's very transparent. We can all see that they're going right towards the Xbox to make it more powerful, to make it a better, at least exclusive-wise, because we've known Xbox have been losing the exclusive race for video games to Sony for quite a long while. And I think that'll continue being the way it is, because I don't think you get anywhere by buying up everything. I think you're kind of partly at fault for ruining the video game industry. And every studio that gets bought up is another creative outlet that could have really been something special, but now it's at the fingertips of one of the most powerful corporations in the world. So take that as you will. And going on forward is BMW's new gaming chair concept is fairly close to a car. It includes motor, climate control, and an AI that you can speak to. So BMW really went out in this new gaming chair. I'm not too sure who the market is. I mean, a car that doesn't move, I guess that's the kind of market they're going for. But it is pretty cool that a gaming chair has went that far where it has climate control and an AI. I definitely won't be buying it. A bit out of my price range. I don't actually know the price, but I guarantee that if it has an AI and climate control, it ain't in my price range. Grand Theft Auto 6 is still in early development and may not release until 2025, reports claim. Probably the last part is the most important part, reports claim, because for years, through either YouTubers or streamers or news outlets, Grand Theft Auto 6, the new Grand Theft Auto coming into the very successful franchise of GTA, has been always on the tip of someone's tongue, and I just don't believe it. I tend to take a very kind of laid back, not even laid back, yeah, I guess would be a laid back kind of response to all these rumors, where I'll just say I don't really care, because I'm very much under the impression that this is, if GTA 6 drops, it is going to be one of the biggest games that drops in that decade. Because GTA 6 is following up from GTA 5, which sold nearly $6 billion in revenue. I mean, it was the most successful piece of entertainment ever created. So the follow-up to that, the sequel to that, is obviously going to be a very big game. And I just don't believe that it's in early development. I just don't really believe that. I don't believe Rockstar would be like that at all. I think the minute that GTA 5 dropped, they were working on something. And I don't think that there's any truth to it at all. Because I don't know where these rumors even came from. I just heard one day on Twitter, it's like, from, I think it was GameSpot, that GTA 6 releasing in 2025 in a current day Vice City with a female lead protagonist. And I'm like, sure, mate. Sure. That lead protagonist rumor has been floating around since about 2017, and I still have no evidence to back it up. The whole Vice City thing comes from is because people just want to go back to Vice City since it was a good GTA. And 2025 is because why the hell not? Just pick a year and go with it. So far, I'm under the impression that GTA 6 still has the same amount of rumors that it did 3 weeks ago, which is about 0. Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive are very good at what they do, and what they do is developing games. And you can sure as hell know that there ain't a leak out there. And I'm waiting until the trailer drops, really, to believe anything. Because right now I think this is just a media stir. I think if GameSpot, if there was any truth to this rumor, I think they would have come out with a hell of a lot more. But I also think that this is it's very much similar to what ESPN done a few weeks ago. is they were coming out with all these bold claims about stuff. I can't remember what it was about specifically. I think it was about the Bruno Fernandes thing in the Euros. They were coming out with all these bold claims that he was playing crap and there's only 10. He was very much elaborating on Jose Mourinho's comments about there's only 10 men on the field and Bruno Fernandes wasn't there, when in fact he had the most chances created of any Portugal player there. They're saying this stuff to attract people to their page. They're saying this stuff to get hits on their page. They're saying this stuff so that people will be like, oh, well, I heard it on from here. The article was over here. Here, I'll link you to it. And that brings more hits to their page. And more hits on their page means more revenue coming in. So I think it is very beneficial. You have to look for anything that's too good to be true. You have to look at who benefits from it. And I think if you track that back, I think there's a lot of people who benefit from this rumor sparking up. And I just don't see any truth in it at all. And that's just the reality. EA says it's not planning in-game video ads, because I remember covering the story a couple of weeks ago actually, how there was a story about EA are going to have like TV ads in video games now. But they have come out with a statement saying EA says it has no intention of putting TV ads in console games following a news report about a deal with an ad tech company. This is all rumors and that turned out to be false. Speak the devil, rumors turning out to be false. And there's no truth to it at all. Starting next month, Nexus mods will no longer let modders delete their mod files. To strengthen the new Nexus mods collection feature, files will only be archived and hidden, not deleted. I've never been a fan of Nexus mods, since I think first off the website interface is a little bit complicated. Second off, the community is actually rather small, so there's not that much mods out there. I mean, I only used it for Red Dead mods and some GTA mods, and I mean, it was I thought there's better websites out there, really saying that. And I guess this is just an attempt to grow a larger audience, really. The infamous blue screen of death might be turning to black in Windows 11. I saw this news and I was like, why? You cannot ask why when any of this news comes out, and there's no reason why. I think that, if anything, it'll actually be a little bit more confusing, because when people's computers die and it's a blue screen, at least they know it's dying. But with black, it's like, it could just be like, oh, well, it turned off and we have to turn it back on. You actually don't know if it's, if it's blue screened. So I thought that'd be a bit confusing, actually. I don't know why they done that, but, fair play to them. The Witcher director, Stevens' first name and his second name is not something in my vocabulary. Henry Cavill could be a politician, says the Witcher director. He says the Witcher star has a real way with people on set. I believe that. I believe that Henry Cavill will make a very good politician. If a politician's job, which is talking to people, I don't know any of his policies, so I don't know where the Witcher director gets it from. I mean, I've been told I could be a politician. I feel like everyone in their lifetime has been told they could be a politician, and I don't know what they bring back on that news. So, ladies and gentlemen, if that's any benefit to your lives, Henry Cavill could be a politician. I don't know why he would be, though. I mean, it's really not a lucrative market for politicians out there these days. Really not a lucrative one. Resident Evil's Netflix show has asked reviewers not to mention politics, and that's never a good sign. That is never a good sign when a video game asks to not mention politics. I guess they thought that the politics of the show could actually overshadow the actual show, so I mean, maybe it's a lack of confidence in the show, and if that's the case, well, either way, it doesn't look good for Resident Evil. Rockstar's Dan Houser has set up his new studio. Absurd Ventures in Games was registered late last month, and it is rumored that this is just a thing to get royalty checks from. We don't know if it's actually just something that's going to be used to produce games, but either or, it's an exciting concept. My idea was that Dan Houser was basically retired from video games. He's had a long and fruitful career, and he's set up for life, but maybe he's looking to step back into the water. Maybe he's looking to do something, but he's sorely missed at Rockstar, definitely. Call of Duty Warzone cheaters don't have to even aim anymore. Warzone's dreaded silent aim hack is popping up more and more, basically meaning that they don't even have to aim the gun anymore. They can just press the trigger and it kills someone. So yeah, Warzone as usual, full of cheaters. I mean, that's something interesting. A mouse has been designed that has a fan in it. Yes, if you've got sweaty palms during those tough games, now you've got a fan. So I mean, that's interesting. A Microsoft engineer stole 10 million by selling Xbox gift cards for Bitcoin. The accused was sentenced to 9 years in prison and will be charged restitution of 8.3 million. So he still has a little bit of, he still has 1.7 million to play around with. I don't know who has that money. I don't know who has the 1.7 million, but I'd be very much interested in putting my hand up if that was going on donation or something. But yeah, what can I say? Either you live to live or die to live. I don't know the phrases, but he took a chance. It didn't work out. What can you say? Battlefield 2042 keeps NVIDIA's partnership and will support DLSS and reflex latency optimizations. That's good to hear. I mean, Battlefield 2042, new news is coming out about it every single day, and it's looking better, and better. So that looks like all the time we have for today. If you already, make sure to check out all the Mradio social medias. That's YouTube and Twitch at Mradio, and Instagram and Twitter at the Mradio. I've been your host, Mr. San Andreas. But don't fret, we will be leaving you with one more song. Baby No Money, I don't care at all, cause I got money. It's a good title.
I don't care at all, cause I got money. I think I need to change my name, bro. Money, 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 yeah, I got a lot. Haha. Peso, yen, euro, pound, the money don't stop. Nah, hey, bought it. Yeah, nice new house, bitch, I bought it. New pink, Gucci fit, yeah, I bought it. Watch you whip my wrist like I'm Crockett. Yeah, I'm about it. I don't care at all, cause I got money. Kiss my teeth, only take an Andre when I do a feat. Mid in the sheets, she want me to last, but she never said please. So proud that I got my money now. So I don't care at all, cause I got money. I don't know how to live, I got the G Bezos now, so you know I won't trip. Hey, if I'm being honest, yeah, I really never thought I'd get this rich, but I did. If I'm being honest, yeah, the song talk dumb ass shit, but it hits. I don't care at all, cause I got money. This right here is my bag. I don't ever check the tag, even though I check the tag. Yo, honestly, I definitely check the tags, bro.
Nah, everyone does.
I don't care at all, cause I got money. I don't care at all, cause I got money.
Baby, no money.
I don't care at all, cause I got money.